And there's nothing you could ever do that would make me stop loving you or give up on you. If you don't tell someone the truth, you don't care about them. You only care about your feelings and their feelings, and you don't want to create controversy. Hey guys, welcome back. It's Missy, and today I thought we would talk about 10 cheat codes in life that will get you ahead of the game. I came up with this idea because I've been thinking for a long time about like things I would want my children to know, and I was like, how can I turn this into a video? Because I always think like, what if something happened to me where I'm no longer here? I want them to have lessons that I would want to teach them. So like, you know what, I'm gonna put in a video, and I'm sure this would benefit and help people as well. So I would say these are life lessons that I've personally learned that I think would benefit, and I have so many other ideas. So let me know if you're interested in the comments below, and let us know any life lessons that you think are valuable that you want to share with others. But before we get into today's video, if you're interested in any of my coaching, it is linked down below. Please go ahead and check out my Patreon. I am doing daily challenges. This month we're doing the inner child wounds, how to heal the inner child. We do daily things to help heal our inner child. And next month is going to be something different. It's never too late to join. Go check it out. You can join at any time. We do discussions. I'm going to be doing lives when people join. Go ahead and check it out. Link is all down below. Let's get into today's video. To deserve bad things to happen in our life, but it's really not. What happens is something bad happens, and in childhood we are not able to reason and realize like, oh, just things happen, it has nothing to do with me. We immediately think like, I did something, I'm bad, I deserve this. So then it starts that wound that we deserve bad things, and then we will then subconsciously make choices because we're bad and we deserve bad. We subconsciously make choices that lead in wrong or hurtful directions, and then bad things keep happening. Or it's just because chaos, like let's say you get an illness, something you did personally to get that illness, but like chaos happens because the world is ordering chaos, and so chaos happens, and then bad things happen. And then when more bad things happen, it's because again of that chaos, or also because of the choices we make, because we deep down think and believe we deserve bad things to happen. So you don't deserve bad things to happen, it just happens. In order to heal that, we have to believe that we are not inherently bad, and we don't deserve bad, and just bad things happen sometimes. It's just life. And when we make better choices in certain areas, like in our relationships, because relationships don't happen to us, we are the ones who go into relationships, you'll see that that belief no longer can exist. The next is always listen to that little voice. That little voice inside that says things like, tie your shoes or move that thing. That's intuition. Intuition is based on like, it's deep in our subconscious, in our amygdala, and it is it's basically like things happen and you have experience from the past that if you did this thing it would help it. So that's why you'll get like an intuitive thought of like, oh, okay, like I need to do this certain thing to prevent this bad thing from happening, or to continue this good thing, right? And so when you listen to that little voice every time, even if it seems silly, even if it's for the littlest things, it will strengthen it more and more, and then the voice will come the more you listen to it, and you will have really strong intuition. Like I listen to every voice I get, like even if it's the dumbest thing, like move something, I will always listen to it, because there's always the possibility that it could fall and hurt someone or whatever it is. There's just this intuitive feeling that you need to do this thing, and you should always listen to it. And intuition is a gnawing feeling. I have a video on intuition that I'll leave right here, between insecurity and intuition. It's not this nervousness or worry, it's just like, I feel like I should do this thing, there's just something telling me that I should do this thing, and then it will happen. Your intuitive voice will happen, or will come when there's bigger things, like when you should chase after your dreams, or when it comes to dealing with people. So always listen to that voice. You want to trust that. That's you. That's your higher self knowing what to do. The third one, by the way, this isn't in any type of order, but the third one is when you get triggered by something someone says, or you get angry at it, there's a part of you that fears that it's true. So if someone says something to you and you immediately get angry and you want to defend yourself, there's a part that fears like, oh my god, what if this is true? It's a part, it can make you feel insecure. So when you feel more insecure in yourself, people could say mean things and it will hurt, but it won't make you as angry because you don't believe it as true. And you're just like, that's like a dumb thing to say, and you're able to kind of like swipe it away, like, okay, like that's dumb. And don't get it twisted, it doesn't mean that you don't like defend yourself or you allow it to happen. That's not what it is. It's based on the way that you internalize the things that people say. When you're able to truly feel confident and comfortable in yourself, the things people say won't affect you as strongly, because you have a strong foundation and base of like, I know who I am, and I'm not afraid of what they're saying being true. So if you know it's not true, you can still defend yourself, but you will have not as strong as an emotional reaction to it. So you'll be able to logically have an argument rather than it coming from an emotional place, and then you can have a discussion. Okay, this one is a little morbid, and some people are gonna think this is weird, but every once in a while, imagine your funeral. Okay, imagine what the people are gonna say about you, and imagine who will be there. If you don't like who's gonna be there, who won't be there, and if you don't like the things that you imagine people are saying about you, then it's time to reevaluate yourself and your choices and who you're around. I know this seems kind of weird, but at the end of your life, well, let me backtrack. People get so wrapped up in day to day, they don't think about when their life is starting to end. You're not going to be as good looking, you're not going to have the body that you have, you're going to need a lot of help, okay? And how you are now and who you're around now will affect you in the long term of when you're older and you're crippled. I don't think people truly understand what it's like to have health issues, because like when you're younger, you're healthy and what have you, but like when you have health issues, it's debilitating. It is rough. Your health is like everything. So imagine when you're older and like how people treat you and who you're around, because that will affect you. So really reevaluate your life if you're not happy about how the end of your life is going to turn out. And I'll also show you that maybe you're not making the best choices now, current day, if you don't like how the ending of your story is going to be. The fifth one is what you tell yourself is so important, and there's certain things that every person needs to hear and they need to tell themselves. The biggest things that I feel like people need to do is a lot of us have our inner child ones, which I talk a ton about, but they have this emptiness inside of them, and they fill it with like going out or, you know, drinking or, you know, constant dopamine releases. Okay, when in reality the whole inside of us is the lack of nurturing and love we didn't receive in childhood, and we need to fill that cup and fill that love inside of us, and we will no longer have that hole. We won't feel like we need constant things outside of ourselves to make us feel better. We won't constantly need that chase, relationships, what have you. So what I would say is everyone needs to look in the mirror and look at themselves like very regularly and say, and this is with conviction, I love you, and there's nothing you could do that will ever make me stop loving you. I unconditionally love you. I am always here for you. I trust you. I love who you are. And there's nothing you could ever do that would make me stop loving you or give up on you. I am so grateful you are here on this earth with me, and I wouldn't want to be here with anybody else, and I appreciate you so much and the person that you are, and I always have your back. Those are things that parents should have said to us, but they didn't. A lot of us didn't hear that, and that's why, you know, what your parents did to you when you were a child, you can't do anything about. But now as an adult, it's your time to fix it. You can't just sit and blame your parents all day long. You can be aware of where they messed up. That's really important, and you can hold them accountable in your mind, because you probably can't tell them what happened, but now it's your time to heal it. And I know it's unfair. Sometimes I've been resentful. I'm like, this is so dumb. Like, why do I have to heal something I didn't create? I know. But in order for you to take charge of your life and do something about it, you have to be the one that heals it. Because even though they're the ones who created the damage, you're the one that's still suffering from their damage, and you're the only one that can pick up the pieces, unfortunately. So if you want your life to change, then you have to be the one that changes it. So they are the ones that mess it up, but you have to be the one that holds yourself accountable to fix it and heal those wounds that you have. So building your confidence up, telling yourself the things that you need to hear, like I just said, and also recognizing your strengths and accepting your weaknesses, so important. This next one is disagreeable people get what they want. Now, this doesn't mean that you be an asshole and you be overly aggressive. That's not what it means. But there's been so many studies that have shown, and I've seen it personally with my own clients, is the more agreeable you are, meaning the more you just like, you know, agree with people around you, or like you don't speak up, the more you're gonna be in the background. Because think about it, if you're not taking charge, then you're just getting pushed in the background and you're just following everyone else's lead. The more you're able to stand up and be a little bit more argumentative, or stand up for what you believe in, or say, nah, I don't agree with that, the more likely you are to be in charge. That's why we have not the nicest people in charge of the country and things like that, because the more disagreeable you are, the more you get ahead. It's not that the best people are in charge, it's the people that make themselves known they want to be in charge that are in charge. So if you want to get more ahead in life and you notice you're more of a people pleaser, you're codependent, then you need to learn how to be a little bit more vocal and a little more disagreeable and deal with conflict, and you'll notice you'll get more of what you want because you're asking for it and you're demanding it. 7, and this is the biggest thing that I live by, and it's, if you don't like something, change it. And if you can't do something about it, then change the way you view it. It is crazy how much our perception is like our entire life. I know that sounds kind of weird, like, what are you saying? You're not making sense. But our perception is life. That's our reality. Everyone has different versions of reality that are their perception, and they cannot be proven or disproven. It's perception. And that's why people could be going through the same things, but they all deal with it so differently because they perceive it differently. And so that's why it's important that, like, if you know you can do something about it, then do it. Take steps to do it. But if you can't, like for instance, maybe you have a terminal illness, or maybe you have parents that suck, you know, unfortunate events. You have to work at a job you don't necessarily want to, and you can't change it right now. Change the way you view it. See it differently. You know, view it from maybe a little more, like, see things that you could be grateful about it for, or see it that like it's a temporary thing, or see it that like you have beautiful things in your life that you like can look forward to. Whatever it is, like, change the way you view it if you genuinely can't do something about it, and it will be much easier to deal with the thing that you were given, versus then you're just miserable and you just, it's so hard being in a life where you're miserable versus when you can try, don't get it twisted, you can obviously be upset about the thing. It's not like you're not gonna be delusional and like pretend like you're not unhappy, but if you have a shift in perception about what you're dealing with, then it will be easier to deal with, and maybe you can come up with things to help yourself deal with and manage the situation easier, maybe even potentially get out of it. Who knows? Anything is possible. I'm someone who firmly believes there's always an answer out there. You just have to search for it. You have to find it. The next one is, you don't need a partner, you want one. And I think a lot of us need to hear this, because a lot of us feel that if we don't have a partner, we will die, or we will be miserable, or life will suck. And it truly won't. It's gonna be okay to be alone. Are we biologically meant to have a partner? Yes. Are we meant to have babies? Technically, yes. Thinking about it biologically, yes. But a need is like for food, water, shelter. Like, we would literally die without those things. You won't necessarily die without a partner. You do need social interaction. you could die without social interaction, but you don't necessarily need like a romantic partner to be okay. It just adds to your life. And that's what you always need to remember, because if you feel like you need a partner, you're going to go in unhealthy relationships and you will not leave them because you're like, I need this person, and it's a risk to go out there and find someone new, and I need to have someone, so I'm gonna stick with this unhealthy person because I can't be alone or I will die. And it enhances that insecure attachment. It feeds it. So you don't want that. A person can't have control over you if you don't feel like you need them. You'll be in the upper hand. You can leave anytime if you need to, but you also will appreciate them because you're wanting to be with them rather than they have control over and you need them. There can create resentment as well, because it's like, I need this person to be around and they're not being the person that I want, so I'm, angry. But if you understand that they're a want and they are not a need, then that resentment will less likely build, because it's an enjoyment. Number 9 is, with people you care about, be honest and real with them and tell them the truth. If you're not, then you don't care about them. If your friend is making unhealthy decisions and you're not telling them that they're hurting themselves, you're losing respect for them and they're hurting themselves, and the relationship is not building and growing together. You're not being authentic and real, and you're not caring about your friend. If you don't tell someone the truth, you don't care about them. You only care about your feelings and their feelings, and you don't want to create controversy. So you're not being real. Like, it's okay to argue, and you want to argue with people you love because you care about them. You don't have to argue with every person you see. They're not worth it. Don't argue with people that you don't care about. Like, if they have these weird views, go let them have someone else can go argue with them. They have weird views. I don't care about you. Bye. But people that like you genuinely love and you trust and you want to build a relationship, be real with them. Tell them the truth, even if it breaks up the relationship, because you need people that you could be real with and you can grow with, or you won't respect them. You're not genuinely caring for them. We all need friends that are real with us and tell us the truth. Like, I'm someone where I don't become friends with someone that blows roses up my ass. Like, if you're gonna lie to me, I don't respect it. I don't like it. I want to grow as a person. So if you're letting me be bad, then I don't like it. I don't want you around. You're not helping me grow. You're letting me be not a good person. My goal is to be a good person and to be the best I can be. So argue with me 100%. I can take it. I mean, I'm not an arguer. I don't like to argue, but I'd rather you argue for the sake because you love me than to stay quiet because you want to keep everyone's feelings like, feeling good. And the last one is, be confident in everything you do, even if you have no idea what you're doing. It's so important to feel good about yourself and what you're doing, because 1, it will convince yourself you know what you're doing and you will eventually figure out what you're doing, and 2, it will help you get ahead in life, because people around you will see that you feel good in what you're doing and they'll be like, oh, that person, they always take on challenges really well. Oh, I want to make that person my boss, or they obviously don't, you know what I'm saying, they don't have control over if you're the boss, but I mean, like, they'll want you to lead, they'll want you to take charge of things, like, oh, I love the way that person does that thing, I want to be their friend, or I want to date that person because of how confident they are. Even if, like, for instance, you like to dance but you don't know how to dance, if you do it confidently, people will really respect that, because you feel good in what you're doing, even if it isn't the best. There's nothing worse than if you know you can't do something and then you're awkward about it, because then it just shows people that, like, you're insecure and they can't lean on you, and maybe they're the one that has to take care of you. So you definitely want to be confident in life and situations with people that you don't feel comfortable with. Let me tell you something. People you feel comfortable with, you could be awkward and what have you, but with people that you don't really know and you don't want to show that vulnerability, act confident. Even if you don't feel it, you eventually will feel it. And also, it's okay to ask for help. A confident person still does ask for help, but at least you're showing confidence in what you're doing, and people will really respect that around you. There's lots of times where I don't know what I'm doing and I will act like I know what I'm doing, and people are like, oh, you did that well, and I'm like, I didn't know what I was doing the whole time, but okay, thanks. So what do you guys think? Let me know if you would like any more of, you know, these life cheat codes. I'll definitely do more of them. And also don't forget to join my Patreon. So what do you guys think? Leave it on the comments below, and please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share with someone you think may need it. Until next time, thanks for watching. Bye guys. I look like I'm going to like Colorado for like a ski trip. What's up guys? I'm here to do my ski trip. I imagine that's what people in Colorado act like. I've never been to Colorado. Hey guys, I got my skis. What am I saying? Who like